Welcome back to another episode of Under Further Review. Happy 4th of July to everyone. We're a few days removed from the 4th of July weekend. And that's where we're going to start today because the biggest event of the year, guys, bigger than the Super Bowl, bigger than any other sports event you can think of. Joey Chestnut took center stage after a year where he was not allowed to go to Coney Island and compete. I forget the exact rules infringement that they tried to put on him, but he ended up doing that
He
big
was sponsored by a vegan hot dog.
Yes,
Impossible
yes,
Meat. Yeah.
that's what it was.
And Nathan's thought that they were above Joey Chestnut, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, so 1 year. It was pretty much a 1 year suspension from Coney Island, where Joey Chestnut laughed in their face because he ended up doing that huge Netflix event against Kobayashi, and he probably made all this money in this world, and he ended up eating 83 hot dogs during that event, which is wild to think about in 10 minutes. But this year,
$100,000. That was the prize.
that was the prize for that event, really?
Well, guess how much the Nathan's winner gets? I looked this up.
Probably not anywhere near that, right?
10,000.
10,000. So 10% of it.
So you win like Joey Chestnut's probably known by most Americans, right?
Yeah.
Like even
I would think so. Absolutely.
casual sports fans would know who he is. I don't know what like the ad revenue would be, but it's a big enough event that it gets on like ESPN Sports Center. My lighting is having a fucking seizure right now.
You're having like a
An
paranormal
EDM concert.
thing right now.
This is poltergeist right now. I'm about to start peeling my face off.
I thought you had the new laptop. Weren't you supposed to have like a nice new camera? It was supposed to block out all that background noise that's happening.
I don't know. There's something with the lighting that's making it freak out. You should have a seizure warning at the top of the episode. Like that.
I'll put it in there in the headline of the YouTube video.
I think it was like an episode of The Simpsons where they had to do that. I forget.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. We know Kobayashi too, even still.
Yeah, he was the big deal before that. And
do you think
it's just crazy that you win something like what's it cost Nathan's to actually you get $6,000 after taxes for winning something that millions of people know about. You basically get your own day of the year.
Yeah.
I'm very passionate about this. And I also want to say like what does it cost them to put this on? Is because it's expensive? Because they're not getting retail prices for the hot dogs. Nathan's makes the hot dogs. It's a couple hundred hot dogs and some people wearing T-shirts. Like I don't get. This isn't like equipment or a stadium.
I don't think so, do they?
No, you can just show up for that.
You can just show up, I think. If you show up early enough, you have the front and center, right?
Yeah, it's just right in the middle of Coney Island. They probably spend more on the billboard that counts it down than any of the winners.
Well, Joe, I think what it is.
I just think Nathan's is a little too big for their britches and they're too cheap.
I think it's more than the event itself. I think people watch it and say, hey, like Joe Chestnut's competing today, Nathan's hot dog eating contest in Coney Island. They say, oh, I kind of want a Nathan's hot dog now. I was sitting with someone this weekend. We were actually at the beach, and he goes to me. He goes, oh, the hot dog eating contest is today because I was putting a bet on Chestnut actually, and he was like, I could go for a Nathan's hot dog. So how many other people across the country were like, hey, hot dog eating contest, Nathan's? Like they put two and two together and ended up getting one later in the day. So that's where they're banking on.
What are the odds on Chestnut? Was he like minus 800, minus 900?
I was looking more at the over-under. His over-under was 71 and a half. But I actually skipped that because it wasn't like I was being cheap with my how much money I was putting down on him. And I said, because he ate 83 hot dogs on Netflix, I said he was going to have more than his record for Nathan's, which is 76. But you get fooled because the Netflix event was inside. And I feel like that makes it the biggest impact. Being outside in that hot heat in 4th of July around, all those people, I just think it's tougher to eat 80 plus hot dogs probably.
Right. But these are world-class athletes. They should be able to do it in a hailstorm.
I love the world-class athletes thing because they are athletes. The amount of training they have to do is probably disgusting.
Their stomach muscles are as, I guess, specialized and worked out as LeBron's calf muscles. It just, doesn't look as good.
Did you guys watch the lemonade chug too?
No. I only watched the main card,
chug.
none of the undercards.
The lemonade chug was something else. I think he did the winner, Mr. Eric Badlands Booker. Got to give him a pop there. I think he did like a gallon of lemonade in like
Oh
21
God.
seconds.
My God.
And then it was great. Literally, I think he was almost done. Someone's just spewing straight right next to him. It was, it was very reminiscent of our faithful leader a couple weekend nights ago
Two
after
weekends
about
ago.
9,000 surf
Yeah,
sides.
at 10:15 p.m. he was out.
That was a mistake. That was a bad mistake. I don't know. It definitely is the amount of surf sides I had, but it's also like how sweet those surf sides are.
Oh, they're phenomenal though.
They are.
They
You know
are
what
phenomenal.
You know what I had this weekend that doesn't taste like you're drinking alcohol? I tried those Sun Cruisers because I've been
Yeah.
seeing them promoted by Barstool everywhere, and I was like, I have to try this. And I drank it, and I was like, this tastes like I'm drinking like straight juice, but
Like a Capri Sun.
pretty much. Like I had the strawberry one. It was like I took like a kid's, sippy box or something, and I'm sitting there drinking it. I was like,
Nice little bendy straw.
it could not be a good night if I continued to have Sun Cruisers. So I went back to Old Faithful,
Attaboy.
which is the surf sides, and
Oh, okay.
I'm at the point where I find myself at the bar. I'm like, hey, Surfside over beer.
Yeah.
Like it's just easier to drink. Most nights you can drink it for longer. Those heavy IPAs just won't do during the
You
summertime.
couldn't.
Oh.
No,
Once it hit about 10:30, I think your eyes started to glaze a little bit, just like
What
my
it was.
computer screen.
I think it's the sitting around. You're sitting there. You're like, oh, let me keep sipping on the surf side. And next thing you know, it's just one's down. You're going up to the fridge, getting another one. And then people are coming over with more boxes of surf sides. And next thing you know, you're God knows how many deep, and your head's in the toilet. So
Jesus.
Is that actual
was-
sugar in there, or is it like the
it has to be.
like sugar-free gum kind of sugar?
Oh yeah, like those energy drinks that they're doing like the zero sugar and it still tastes like it's sugar.
Yeah,
No.
the kind that gives you cancer. That's why I stopped using Sweet and Plenty.
Oh yeah.
Good and Plenty, Sweet and Plenty, whatever it is. This is an
Is it Good and
exciting
Plenty the
conversation.
candy?
Alternative sugars.
Yeah, I mean, people need to know about their surf sides, like what they're drinking.
Was it Kava? That's another one.
I would never bash it though. Keep drinking your surf sides out there. But my question for you is Kobayashi. I want to go back to. Do you think he's looked at as a failure across Japan because he no longer can compete with Joey Chestnut? It's like another badge of honor that the United States has over Japan.
I don't
No.
know.
You had to
I
think
don't.
about
I
it
don't
for
know.
a
I
second.
don't know how.
Honor.
I don't know how big the sport is in Japan. It might be bigger
Come
or.
on. He was top of the world at one point. It has to be known there. It has to be. I don't know how often they're eating hot dogs though.
Yeah, they
That
probably
seems like
frown upon it.
that seems like an American 4th of July thing more than anything.
It's sort of like a Federer Djokovic. Now we're watching the Wimbledon. It's like this guy who broke. Pretty much, it was pretty clear he was going to break. Like I think Pete Sampras had the record for most majors when he came in, and the next thing you know, it's just like. No, he's just ushering in an era of like new competition, and all of a sudden Djokovic, has 24 of them, I think.
Yeah.
Like
I think we
when
are getting
Kobayashi came in the mid 2000s, like if you look back at some of the hot dog records, like I was doing the other day, really deep diving into the hot dog statistics, the first prize in like the mid 90s was like 10 and a half hot dogs. Like that was considered world class. Not that I could do that now, but back then I was considered world class, which makes me think it was like a less specialized thing and just anybody could sign up. But now that like people are actually training like athletes, I think like Kobayashi came in and it went from like 10 to like 40 in a span of like a couple of years.
Yeah,
And then now 40 is like, when you get to 10th place.
I don't know. Like what's the extent of the other people's training compared to Joey Chestnut? Because they're not coming. What was the closest number? What was second place? It had to be 20 behind or something, right?
It was
Probably even more.
he had like a 20 dog lead like 5 or 6 minutes in. Like he
Exactly.
clearly just he's like Tiger. He builds a large lead going into Sunday, and then he just keeps everybody at arm's length.
That's so true. That's such a good reference. But yeah, I mean, like it's not even a matter of like who's going to compete with Joey Chestnut anymore. I think that was the anticipation of the Netflix event last year. It was like, does Kobayashi still have it? Can he stick around with Chestnut? But this year with the whole, Coney Island thing. It wasn't even like, is anyone going to catch him? It was more, is he going to get above 70? Is he going to break his own record? He's pretty much competing against himself, and that's a great thing for the hot dog eating contest, but eventually it could also be its downfall, in my opinion, just because like you have one face of the sport competing against themselves for so long. Eventually, that like, and this happens in any sport. Like people get older, that I'm sure his appetite's not going to remain the same his whole life. Eventually it's going to fizzle out. Where he's even this year. What did he get? Like 71 on the dot. So it wasn't. It wasn't his biggest showing ever. So
you can't expect him to keep breaking the records. Right.
No,
but that's what people
want. We
want.
definitely need a second. We need someone else to start competing with him.
Or maybe he's reaching like the human limit. Like how fast can you shove those dogs in your mouth, swallow it, and continue with the next? Although I think the strategy is to do like 5 or 6 at once, and then just like splash water in your face.
No, yeah, they dunk it in the water sometimes, and then they're like sitting there shaking, and then they take the water cup and try to.
Oh God, yeah.
Mixed it in. The worst part, I would think I was choking on the bread, like that mushy bread just sitting in there.
Yeah, it's something you have to get used to.
I'm out on that stuff.
Yeah. I remember there was a TV show on before this became huge, where I think Kobayashi was on it, and they had a contest for mayonnaise.
Oh,
and Kobayashi ate like I'm pretty sure this is Kobayashi. He had like 10 or 15 pounds of mayonnaise in the span of like.
Oh, God. I hate mayonnaise, too. That's disgusting.
That's harder than any amount of hot dogs, I feel like.
Oh, the amount
even
of
if you like
probably.
mayonnaise, like, how would your body respond to that?
You know who gets put on mayonnaise commercials? It's like cast-offs. Like Will Levis got put on a mayonnaise commercial. And
I saw that.
Yeah.
Or was it Drake May or May Mayo? Wasn't it like a pun or something?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
But it popped up like so much during football season. I think it's because I watch on Roku, and we don't get.
Yeah, you definitely just have the generic commercials.
Yeah, the same
one. Was
OJ
Mayo ever a spokesperson? Because that's a missed opportunity for their marketing department.
I
doubt for Heinz, for the Kraft Heinz thing. He had to be.
Well, that's kind of like the Reese's thing that they did with Angel Reese.
Yeah,
that was part on Reese's.
Sometimes it just makes too much sense.
If you want someone who misses 5 straight shots and gets their own rebounds and goes like 3 for 20 every game, that's perfect for you.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there.
Somehow, right?
Well, her Instagram is what drives the revenue for her.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It helps that she won a national championship and was a complete force also.
I thought you were about to say something else.
Yeah.
No.
But I mean, how long are you going to coast off that? In terms of being relevant enough for sponsors, that's what I mean.
People are going to keep her around because she came into her rookie year, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, Angel Reese should have won the Rookie of the Year against Caitlin Clark."
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, she sells tickets too. WNBA.
I don't know. Are you
sure?
She
doesn't sell like Kate. I mean, she doesn't sell like Caitlin Clark or like even Paige. What's Paige Buckers or Bukers?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, I mean, she's good. She's got like a good core of people that'll always follow her. And WNBA, I mean, if you can get any publicity and sell any type of tickets, you're going to be welcomed for as long as you do that, even if you're past your like good playing days.
Yeah, she has her fan group, her backing. I will say, Caitlin Clark, wherever she goes, fills the whole stadium or arena.
Yeah.
I've seen Angel Reese games where half the arena's filled and there's a lot of empty seats. So, I mean, we've seen it before. Like, there's a lot of stars that have come around. I don't know if they've, and not to get into a Caitlin Clark conversation, but I don't know if they've had the type of selling power that Caitlin Clark has. I don't. The WNBA has never been where it's at right now. I mean, Caitlin Clark just got 122 million votes, I think, for the WNBA All-Star game. And that's like the voting process is usually like not even close to that. Like the first place person gets like half of that usually, if that even. So
does the NBA get that many? That's a lot of people.
That is a lot of people.
I don't think Yao Ming got that many.
I'm pretty sure it was 122 mil. Like maybe I'm wrong. I I just know that she put up some crazy numbers for her voting, and it was just like nothing the WNBA has seen. As I try to look for this, but I can't find it. But yeah, take my word for it. No, just kidding. It's probably wrong, to
I
be honest.
will. You're pulling the coward.
She's been injured most of the season too. But we got any last comments about 4th of July weekend, the hot dog eating contest, or do we want to move on to some MLB talk?
No, I was surprised Nathan's only pays the winner that $6,000 after taxes.
Yeah, it's not that much.
That's
There
utterly.
should be more.
And they thought that banning Joey Chestnut would be a punishment. He makes
I think
$500,000 a year by other
Yeah.
means, so I doubt that's. He's already won it 16 times heading into this year.
Is it
I think
that many?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
it's basically every
crap.
year since he started doing it, which I guess was like 06,
It's like half our lifetime.
07, yeah.
As long as Chestnut doesn't make a big stink about what he's making during this day, they're not going to change it. So, and Chestnut makes so much money in other. I mean, I would say probably most of his salary for the year comes from endorsements and not his eating contest. Because if the biggest eating contest in the world, which is Nathan's hot dog eating contest on 4th of July, only gives him 10,000. I would hate to see what the buffalo chicken wing eating contest makes him or something, or like whatever other
Highest eating
competition he
contest
makes.
prize in the world.
Oh, the chicken wings.
He's looking it up. I want to watch some of these other ones actually.
The all-time record was the 2017 Philadelphia Wing Bowl, which was $50,000. A Hyundai Santa Fe. Oh,
Okay.
50,000 in total prizes. 10,000 to the winner. Oh,
Get her done.
same thing.
Look at that. It was the wing bowl.
Yeah.
I'll eat my words now, I guess. I was wrong by saying that. But
I guess they can't afford it if that's like the standard. I still don't like Nathan's for what they did, but
what, the vegan thing?
yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, you took away a 4th of July from us that we'll never get back.
He's not LeBron. He doesn't have his choice of sponsors. You know, there's a very niche kind of sponsor you can go with.
I'm sure he does all right.
Yeah,
he's not making
a
LeBron sponsorship, but he does all right. He's making more than all of us probably.
$500,000 a year, yeah. Well, I'm saying, like, you know, don't whittle down a guy's sponsors if he's like the face of your sport.
That's true. That's true. You take whatever you can get, and I guess when it's a vegan hot dog company, you take it.
You can't be a Gatorade athlete because he has to drink water during competition. Gatorade and hot dogs don't mix. It's too much sugar.
Oh, no.
I mean, Adam Sandler or Bobby Boucher would be happy. He's drinking water during these contests.
Is the new Happy Gilmore coming out soon? Or did it already come out?
July 10th, is it?
Yeah. Oh, is it this week?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, he'll be on later. We'll ask him.
Yeah.
Adam Sandler, everyone. He's coming on. Happy Gilmore.
How are you guys? I'm here on your podcast.
That's better than mine.
Oh, I was way off. It's July 25th. So it is coming up soon, but not July 10th. Sorry to get everyone's hopes up.
Shooter McGavin's in it. I saw him for like 2 seconds in the trailer.
Yes.
So,
Shooter,
because if you don't bring him back, what's the point? Yeah.
Yeah, you have to. There's a lot of cameos in this one. I know Travis Kelce will be in it. I think
there's a guy in the golf world. His name is Will Zalatoris.
Oh, yeah. Great golfer.
Exactly like Gilmore's caddy from the original one, like the kid. So
they brought him in.
I'm pretty sure he's playing that kid.
Oh, that's so good.
On the tour.
But he's actually Will Zalatoris? Like he ended up being Will Zalatoris?
No, the opposite, I think. I think like the caddy ended up just making the tour. That's what Sally's doing.
Bad Bunny's in it. Ben Stiller's in it.
Yeah.
Sonny Sandler, which is his daughter. Travis Kelce's in it. Who else we got?
Couldn't get Tiger.
Oh, they got Rory though. Rory's in it.
Rory
John Daly's in it. Oh, check this out. Dennis Dugan. I don't know who that is, but
he's big name director.
Is it?
Yeah, he's directed a lot of stuff.
Bryson's in it. G. Chambeau.
He's the second most
Scotty
successful
Scheffler's
Dugan.
in it. Kid Cudi's in it. They got some names.
Apparently, Kid Cudi's got like a big role in it.
Oh,
Does he
Dennis
call?
Dugan actually directed the first Happy Gilmore, so I guess I should have known that.
Is that like a lost uncle for you?
There's probably about 50 million Dugans on Earth, so I don't know. Well, I don't know where the tree diverged.
Matt actually confirmed that because he sent you like 3 pictures of Dugan signs this past week.
Yeah, I'm wondering where they are. There's not many in Jersey. I guess they all moved to Florida.
No, Chicago. He was in Chicago this week. So,
Oh, was he?
so
Okay.
I guess the Dugan bloodline is big in Chicago.
That would make sense. Irish people wouldn't do well in Florida.
No, you would struggle, Joe.
I
That orange skin.
my orange skin's looking really greasy right now. I just had some pizza. That's maybe that's why my camera's freaking out. It can't handle like the reflection.
Those cheeks were looking a little bigger. So you confirmed you had pizza, huh?
Yeah.
Just kidding. Do we want to do NBA or MLB next? What are we thinking?
I just got an update saying Mike Rizzo and Dave Martinez have been fired. Goodbye. Get out your shit and get out. Dave Martinez and Mike Rizzo are fired.
That's a long time coming. But what did the Nationals expect out of this team? Like,
I mean, yeah, it's a younger team too. So if they didn't think Dave Martinez was the guy, but it's right before the draft, so I mean, if you were gonna do it, I would assume this is the time to do it.
Yeah, pick your own guy.
Yeah.
In the first round, or pick your own guys in general in multiple rounds. I would think that's correct. Like you get a manager that can build younger talent up, and Dave Martinez is kind of someone who's been in it for a while, and probably it's kind of like the Buck Showalter with the Mets thing, where it's like this old school manager and has potential to do well with the organization, but sticks to his old ways kind of thing, in my opinion. And now you see what like a Mendoza type is doing, where you bring in this younger face, and the clubhouse is a lot more intact because of it. I think that's what they're kind of hoping with the Nationals, because you have the guys there. Gore,
yeah, they're gonna be good.
Gore's a very good pitcher. James Wood is slowly becoming one of the top bats in the NL. He's a force.
Under the radar too.
Yeah, and they have a bunch of other young guys that are stepping up. So there's a lot of potential. So I don't understand a lot of times like a Nationals team where you knew they weren't going to compete this year. Why make the midseason move like this? But I guess for the reasons that you're talking about with the MLB draft coming up.
Yeah, I think it had more to do with like GM, and you weren't just gonna. I mean, Dave Martinez is a good guy. He's a very good baseball guy. I mean, I think he's a lot better than probably more than half of the managers in the MLB. But it was time. He's been there for a while. You know, he's been there since even before. Like what? He went from Tampa to Washington. Got that job in like 2000. When did they win the World Series?
18 or 19, right?
2018.
17? Maybe I was late with
17 or 19, I forget. It was like right around when the Red Sox won it, but he, you know, I would take him as a manager of a team. I mean, a team that's ready to win, not a team that's like building per se.
Yeah.
But I don't know with baseball right now. I'm so down because I was watching the Yankee Mets game today, and just the umpiring, especially the home plate umpiring, it needs to change like now. There were so many bad calls against the Mets today. I'm a Yankee fan. There were so many calls against the Mets home plate guy, like, and it was just like it's infuriating because not only is there, you know, jobs at stake, but there's so much money being bet on now in the days, and these like leagues are getting in bed with the gambling, but they're not fixing something that's so easily fixable. Because why? Like, what are we doing, guys? It's so easy. Fix it, please.
It was the whole weekend too, honestly. It
was so bad.
I was watching yesterday's game, and there was a few like outside calls where it was like borderline the other batter's box, and they still, pumped the strike. And the people I was watching with, I was like, oh, he's probably going to call that a strike. And they're like, that's not a strike, sit in there. It's like obvious from like the TV standpoint that like it's outside, but these umpires, I don't know what it is. I don't know if they have places to be or if they have an agenda with like the push for robotic umpires. But it's
I mean, it
just,
would make their job easier, like you said. And also, like, I'll be the first to admit it, having that box on the screen really doesn't help because you know what's a strike and what's not.
yeah.
But also, the rabbit ears. Guys, you're not part of the game. You're there to call balls, strikes. If some people fight, get the game moving again, whatever. Like, you see these? When are we going to give these type of things to referees, umpires, rules officials, whatever? So the only people they can talk to is amongst themselves, and I'm talking in all sports. Amongst themselves, if a manager wants to challenge something, they press a button, you talk to him here. But enough of this soft stuff that, like, oh, you hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
I'm an umpire. You're calling me out for doing my job badly. I'm going to throw you out of the game and totally impact the game more than my calls. Like, it's frustrating.
And the other thing is, you don't see Mendoza get mad that often to the point where he gets thrown out of a game. He did today. And I think it got to that point where he thought it was unfairly changing the script of the game. Today.
It was taking the bat out of his batter's hands.
Yeah, and that's the point where you have to step up. And that's always what I've liked about Boone is he's not afraid to do that. He's not afraid to back up his guys. He's not afraid to say something when this is the situation. There's been some brutal points. I mean, the most famous one is the John Boy Media video where he's yelling at the umpire, Boone. But this has been a topic of conversation for a while now. And I don't know if it's because we put the umpires under a close watch and we're just noticing this. I don't know if it's because we're vamping up technologies, but a lot of people are not happy with like the performance of the umpires, and it's been a few year thing. And it's correct with sports in general because there should not be a universe where somebody is called the extender. Isn't that what Scott Foster? Yeah, I mean, yeah. Is he making calls that much in the favor of the other team that he's spending a playoff series? If that's the case, then we really do need him to just put headphones on and just make calls based off of what robots are saying, because that should not be the situation. And it happens a lot in the NBA playoffs where
Tim Donaghy can reprogram the robots. I don't know if that'll fix everything. His cut.
Give him his 12%.
Or, what the fuck was that? That old, forget it. Dick Vitale.
Where were you headed with that?
No, Dick Bavetta.
Dick Bavetta. There we go. He was the ring. Thank you. He was the ringleader.
You're welcome.
He was the ringleader. He was the godfather of that whole syndicate. We're going to get taken off of whatever platforms we're on.
Yeah, I was going to say we're going to go black. We're going to go black soon.
This is like us going against Scientology. Like, this isn't good.
Oh, wow, you brought it up again.
Yeah.
Was that the Aaron Rodgers thing?
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, there we go. Close enough.
Yeah. He's also going to be on the podcast later, guys. Just
Tom Cruise, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we got a triple header.
It's big time.
Doesn't do many interviews, but he does it with Under Further Review.
Yes.
That's right.
And Pat McAfee.
I think Pat McAfee probably opened him up a little bit, and then we're going to hit him with the hard-hitting questions. He'll go into a deep dive about everything he did at the church.
What's the first question you're asking him?
How many personal, quote-unquote, assistants do you have employed by the Church of Scientology?
Oh, God.
Jesus.
Wow. That probably wouldn't go over well.
You're jumping right in with that, huh?
I said I'm going to hard-hitting questions.
I'm sure he would appreciate it.
You can warm him up a little bit. Butter him up.
No small talk. Just right to it.
What was it like working with Miles Teller? And then I go to the next one.
Miles Teller looks like a great guy. I don't mind that question.
Miles Teller was amazing in Whiplash. I actually haven't seen the new Top Gun, but I'm guessing it's good.
No?
Yeah, it's good.
Oh my God! You need to see
bits and pieces, but I heard it was great.
Watch it tonight.
I did.
S-
That's on my list.
Steve, what's the biggest surprise MLB
What's that?
so far? What's your biggest surprise through halfway point of MLB this year?
Biggest surprise, probably the Braves. Um,
I'm gonna go Braves.
uh, I don't know. I'd have to sit there and think about it, but that's the first thing that comes to mind. Just because, like, I thought when they got Acuna back, and then I think they swept the Mets even. Um, I thought they were gonna like really make a push for the division, and then they come in and now they're 11 games under 500, and a team that has like Matt Olson, Ozzy Albies, Acuna, uh, who's their third base? Austin Riley's.
Yep.
I mean, Chris
Don't let
Sale.
them get hot.
Yeah, don't let. But I mean, at 50 losses at this point before the All Star break, it's very hard to bounce back from that. Because now you're even past the point of when the Mets made the turnaround. I mean,
What were they at last year?
uh,
45, 44?
yeah, probably around there, just every bit of that. But I mean, at this point, you really need to start showing life, and they got swept by the Orioles, who the Orioles don't really have much pitching. And
So I appreciate you guys bringing in Scientology again, so I could be a part of this. I'll let you talk baseball. I just want to say I appreciate it.
one day we're gonna let you break down the history of Scientology.
I've seen a couple documentaries. Going Clear, I think one of them's called.
Going. Well, that sounds like Scientology.
Yeah. Going Clear? I don't know. It's a term they use. You know, they have like that electronic device that measures your thetan level, which is the amount of like alien spirits in your blood or something like that.
Jesus.
What?
I'm not making. I'm pretty sure
That
that's
sounds
right.
like some legit stuff right there.
I'm curious to see what mine would be.
Was that like midi chlorians in Star Wars?
3.5 million alien ghosts per cubic liter of blood.
You could probably spend your next few paychecks and find out.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not cheap.
Oh, that's definitely a lot of money.
Just give
If I
your
want to get
year-
to a high membership, it would cost me a decade's worth of pay. I'm sure.
That's okay. Just live under a like a cardboard box or something. It's worth it.
It's fine.
So my biggest surprise, MLB, I'm gonna go with, if hopefully I get this nickname right, because if I don't, I'm gonna laugh my you know what off. Cal the Big Dumper Raleigh.
Yep.
This dude is just hitting yachts bomb after yachts bomb. And what's he got? Like you said, 38, 39,
No, 35 homers at this point.
35 right now.
Unless he didn't. I hope he didn't homer. I mean, I like the guy. I hope he homered, but I'd be off if he homered today. I think it's 35 though.
What's the MVP odds? Did it get closer yet for between him and Judge?
I haven't even looked at them honestly. Yeah, he's at 35 homers, 74 RBIs, just having an incredible season.
That's absurd, man.
And
in Seattle though, so we don't get to see it, unfortunately. Really.
So there was a graphic the other day. It was the 60 home run club, and I was reading this before we started recording. But so in 2001 through 84 games, I think it was 84 games. Yeah, 84 games. 84. Barry Bonds had 39 home runs. His final count was 73. In 1998, Mark McGwire had 37 home runs through 84 games. His final count was 70. Sammy Sosa had 33 that same year, 1998. He had 66. Cal Raleigh through 84 games, so this was before he hit 2 more homers over the weekend. He was at 33 home runs, so we'll see where he finishes. But look at this. Like, think about the heaters of the second half. Like, 1999 when McGwire came back and hit 65 home runs. He had 27 home runs through 84 games. Sosa had 27 through 84 games in 2001 when he had 64. I mean, Judge was at 30 when he had 62 in 2022. Roger Maris was at 34 when he had 61. And then Babe Ruth was at 30 when he had 60 through 84 games. So the pace that this guy's doing it at, the one thing I want to point out is he's a catcher. I don't know if we've ever seen a first half like this from a catcher before. And this is coming from like my favorite player of all time is Mike Piazza. I didn't even see a Mike Piazza season like this.
He has the record, right, for a catcher?
Catcher record.
He had it at one point, I think.
I want to say it's Salvi Perez. I could be
Did
wrong.
Salvi get there already? Let me check that right now.
Salvador
If
Perez.
Salvi did, he's probably a Hall of Famer then.
Salvador Perez, I would think, is a Hall of Famer. He has a World Series. He's been an All-Star countless years. I'm pretty sure he got up to 48 homers one year.
So the record with 427, 396 of those while playing the catcher position is done
Just
by
Piazza.
Steve, yours truly, in the
Yeah.
voice of Bob Murphy. Oh, Mike Piazza!
Piazza
I'm
has
talking-
the 6th most all time in the season, the 7th most, the 9th most, the 12th most, the 13th most,
Who?
the 18th most in the season. Mike Piazza.
By a catcher? Or
Yeah.
by any one? Okay.
But who's number one?
Salvador Perez, you're right. Yeah, he had 48.
48.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking like by in a season? Yeah.
Yeah, in a season.
Yeah,
Piazza's
Perez
got the
isn't called
most of all
Piazza.
time.
Johnny Bench, Javi Lopez, Todd Hundley, Roy Campanella, Johnny Bench again, and then it's Piazza like 18 times.
Can we appreciate,
Ooh, Carlton
Yeah,
Fisk. I recognize that name.
can we appreciate
Torre.
the Javi Lopez name drop?
What?
Javi Lowe.
Yeah. You don't see that.
Stud.
He was.
Dude was an absolute stud in the 90s.
You know what made him great? He could hit, but he also had a cannon of an arm and was one of the best defensive catchers too.
Oh, I thought you were going to say 3 out of 5 days of the week he barely had to do anything.
I mean, that's most catchers. That's the other thing. Cal Raleigh's been in the lineup, and
Yeah.
I don't think they've been DHing him too much. I mean, the guy just seems like one of those baseball players where like his whole life growing up was probably like travel ball, high school baseball, all this other stuff, you know, like he just probably was consumed by baseball, and now he just seems like the ultimate baseball bro. I mean, he probably shows up at the park first every day, if I had to guess. Probably there last. He's probably studying nonstop because, like, as a catcher, you really need to know the game. I think he said in an interview too that he calls like every game behind the plate. He doesn't really look into the dugout that often, so it's just the guys putting in the work and it's paying off. He's not too old either.
He's
What
like
is
Kevin Costner in Bull Durham. He makes the calls.
I wouldn't say
Yeah.
that.
no?
Okay.
Costner,
Was
I
old,
mean,
right?
is he pulling Susan Sarandon?
That's true. That's true. You have to take that into
Susan
consideration.
Sarandon.
80s Susan Sarandon.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Does your boy Judge have any chance of catching Raleigh for MVP?
So right now, the odds are Judge at minus 1,600 as the favorite. Cal Raleigh's at plus 800. Those odds brought to you by America's #1 sportsbook, FanDuel. So I would say it's probably going to be Judge because he's starting to get hot again. If he hits probably 4 to 5 more home runs before the All-Star break and continues just to do his thing, and it's definitely a little New York bias because, I mean, he's also Aaron Judge. But I will say, if there was anyone that was going to give him a run, someone that plays a catcher position and is putting up the stats that Raleigh has should give him a closer run than I think 1,600 to plus 800. But, I mean, Judge is just so good.
I would argue, say Judge gets to like 60, 62 range this season and bats like 350 on the season, and Cal Raleigh gets to 55, and the Mariners somehow make the playoffs. I think just because we haven't seen a season like that from a catcher before, they might say, and he has all this love just because of, like you talked about, his nickname and everything, and like people are, I've seen his name pop up countless times over the past few weeks just because of the surge he's had over the past like month or so. People give a serious thought of giving Cal Raleigh, you know, this.
They'll give him votes. I just think that, like, if Judge puts up 62 and 55 or even like 55, he's just going to continue to win MVP. Like, people are not tired of him yet.
Yeah, Judge will win based on MLB is scared to go with the best story. They like to stick to their traditions. They like boring. It almost feels like. And
do you think it hurts too that Cal Raleigh plays in Seattle at 10 o'clock every night for us East Coasters, and we don't ever get to see him?
I mean, it's like Pac-12, well, what Pac-12 football used to be,
What if he played in yoga pants?
and
I mean,
just put his
baseball pants
ass
are
out there all
basically
the
yoga
time.
pants.
He basically does with baseball pants.
I heard him a part of my take, and I hadn't really like looked into his glutes. It's an apt nickname.
Oh, he's got a big dumpy. Let me
Yeah,
take a look. I haven't really taken
Joe
a look
definitely
at
did
this
an
man.
in-depth look at this.
Yeah, I'll give you the breakdown of Cal Raleigh real quick.
I asked AI to put him in yoga pants, and I'm like, that is what would drive ratings way up
Let's see what this guy
across all of
is.
baseball.
All right, you know what? So he's got a pretty good upper half, solid catcher style.
Mm-hmm.
That ass.
That's
he's
a
got an
3-course
ass,
meal,
boys.
man. Yeah,
That is an ass. You can put something on that and be good. You know, the bottom half a little, little shrunk down, perfect for the catcher position. So yeah, Cal Raleigh, I can see where he gets his power. Probably works it from the ground up, gets through that thing, and. But yeah, on a serious note, like doing what he's doing at the catcher position is absurd. What he's doing at the catcher position.
Yes, and back to the headlines thing, like the MLB is scared of making the fun story the award winner. It just never happens in the MLB, and I think that's part of the reason why rankings tank all the time, because people are like, "The fuck is going on here?" Like, like NFL would give it to the feel good story. I'm sure the NBA would do it too. MLB sits here and says, "Hey, Aaron Judge is our guy who wins the MVP every single season. Let's just give it to him because that's the safe bet to do." And it's the same thing with the Cy Young and every other award. I want to talk about because I was sitting here all week and I'm like, this team could be a serious contender when it comes to the playoffs. They just have the making, in my opinion. The Chicago Cubs scare me. As a Mets fan, as a Dodgers fan, if I was a Dodgers fan, I'd be scared of this team just because the power is unheard of. They just hit 8 home runs in a game, I think, on Saturday, and it tied their franchise record. Look at these stat lines. It breaks my heart to say Pete Crow Armstrong, who the Mets traded,
I was about to get into him.
The Javi Baez trade, which worst trade ever.
Stupid.
He has 23 homers, 66 RBIs. Throw in 26 stolen bases on the season. The guy's just the complete package. He can play the field too. He's a 5-tool player when you don't see too many 5-tool players anymore. Suzuki having a breakout season, 24 homers, 75 RBIs. You brought in Kyle Tucker, who has 17 homers. You have Swanson, Dansby Swanson, major bounce back year because he struggled his first season in Chicago. 15 homers for him. 18 homers from Bush, who's that first baseman they just brought in. Ian Happ's having a low-key good season, 12 homers, 44 ribbies. I mean, the list goes on. And then you're also getting, let me bring up the pitching. I mean, come on. Boyd, just a 2.65 ERA. Like, you don't expect that from him most seasons, but like he's doing it this year. How do you say the Japanese pitcher? It's a manga, right?
Yeah.
He's been consistent since he came over to the United States last season. But I mean, like Chris Flexen out of the bullpen. That guy started his career with the Mets. I remember he had one good pitching season with the Mariners as a starter, but he has a .83 ERA out of the bullpen for them this year.
Yeah, I don't even know how that guy's still in the league.
Yeah, because he's had seasons where his ERA has been like 6. He's had some really bad seasons, but it's just like everything's coming together for this team, and it just makes me scared that like if they continue to get confidence, like you've seen it before with young teams, when they build and they feel like they can stick around with the big boys, they actually come out swinging every single game and every single start, and that's just going to carry into the playoffs. And tonight, it's Sunday Night Baseball as we record. It's 3-0 right now. They're about to take the series from the Cardinals. That team right there, if I wasn't an NL team, if I wasn't a fan of an NL team, I'd be so excited about that team right now. But instead, I'm scared of that team because the Mets, I think, would struggle in a series against them.
Yeah, I'll say it. I absolutely expect the Cubs right now at this point to be one of the final 2 teams in the NL. I think I mean, it's only July. We haven't even gotten to the All-Star break. but they just feel like they're going to add. Who's the owner? Is that Mr. Ricketts is the owner of the Cubs, or is he the owner of the?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not afraid to spend when his team's good.
Yeah.
They got the manager. Get a few bullpen pieces, maybe get a starter. That like you said, Steve, that team doesn't know right from wrong yet, and they're just gonna go the rest of the season. Cubs Dodgers in the NLCS sounds pretty hot right now.
It's a fun time, not for Mets fans. If I'm going down the NL power rankings right now,
I think I had Ricketts.
Is that like a disease for you or something?
Yeah.
Jiminy Ricketts?
Jiminy Ricketts.
It stunted my growth growing up.
Ricketts.
Yeah.
Disease. Let's see. Ricketts
Your whole
disease in
6'4"?
adults.
Your 6'4" frame?
I mean, I cured
it. Here we go. A softening and weakening of bones in children, usually due to not getting enough vitamin D.
Yeah. That's what the doctor
Irish
said. He
in ya?
started giving me vitamin D pills.
You know what bone always stays soft and for
And I
him?
also have
God.
metal braces in my legs.
Do you really?
No.
What a terrible
I felt like
lie.
it had been 5 minutes since I said something. So,
Don't worry. NBA's right around the corner. We got you, Joe.
now, are we going to talk about the Western Conference Finals? I think that's where we left off.
Yeah. We 3 weeks of no shows. So there's a lot to catch up on. I want to say one more thing on the Cubs thing.
LeBron went to the Lakers.
LeBron might go elsewhere, actually. We want to be
LeBron literally might go elsewhere.
Do you want to kick it to Ricky Waters after baseball?
Do we want Ricky Waters in the preview, or do we want him in?
I mean,
This
we're
week's
live
episode.
right now, Steve. We have to make a decision.
All right, let's fuck it. We ball. Let's put it in this week's episode.
I love it.
Well put.
Doing it on the fly, calling an audible.
Okay, cool. So what we'll do? We'll cut off baseball. One last thing though, because
I want to cut it off. I was just saying when you're done with it.
I want to get this in before the Ricky Waters. I was doing the NL power rankings in my head. It's Dodgers 1, Cubs 2 right now, Phillies 3, Mets 4. That's your power rankings right there. So in a loaded NL, like what's the AL?
I have Phillies at 2, by the way.
I don't.
All right. No, that's
I hope
fair.
Giants.
I think they're
I have
interchangeable.
Giants at 3.
Yeah.
I hope the Phillies don't make the playoffs, so that girl that made that bet
Oof.
has to do what it says on there. Was I telling you about that, John, or did you see it online?
No, I saw that online.
Yeah. So, Joe, just to fill you in, there's this really annoying Philadelphia fan. She was the one that, like, when she was doing a live, like, NFL draft video, and Jackson Dart got drafted, and she, in this really annoying voice, she goes, Jackson Dart, you drafted Jackson Dart, not Shador Sanders? It was so annoying, but she made this video. She does like these like videos to try to like loop you in and gain followers and stuff, and it's her like dancing at the Philly Stadium. And
Does she have a lot of followers?
she does have a good amount.
It's working.
It is working. Maybe we need to make you dance at stadiums, Joe. But
Jackson Dart! You drafted Jackson Dart!
that's what she sounded like, actually. But in the video, it's her dancing. It's like a TikTok thing, and in the writing above her, it says, "If the Phillies don't make the playoffs, I'll do whatever the first comment says." In the first comment, the person writes, or the comment with the most likes was it? I think maybe.
That's such a mistake. She's not going to
So,
do it. I don't
the
even know what it
person
is. I'm
wrote-
telling you, she's not doing it.
The person wrote, "You have to get pregnant by a homeless person."
Oh, Jesus.
That's better than anything I could have came up with.
Yeah,
They should be on this show. That's great.
She did a video with the song "I Just Had Sex," and it's her like looking around like that. So she's feeding into
She's a good
it.
sport about it. I like it.
There's no way.
Typical Philadelphia fashion.
She
Gotta
can't.
love it.
There's enough homeless people in Philadelphia. She could find someone.
Yeah.
She'd have to raise it by, unless she kicks the kid to the streets.
What do you mean kicks the kid to the streets?
Like, do they get joint custody? Like, the kid's homeless 3 days a week, and then it comes lives with her, or does she live with the homeless person?
I'm not gonna say my political comment here.
The homelessness sucks. It's not political. Is that?
The-
Are you for
I was
homelessness?
gonna say she's definitely gonna be at 100% a Democrat and have an abortion.
Oh my god!
It just says
You just lost half our viewers. The 350 followers we've built up, we're down to 175 now.
We had more followers than Nets fans. Now we're losing them.
Wow.
Unfortunately.
I hope you said Nets fans and not Mets fans.
I said Nets with an N.
Yeah.
Is that even a hardline stance by party anymore? I don't even know. I thought we were like.
I try not to know.
I thought society moved beyond that. Like, there's both sides are against it or for it. I'm really into politics, Steve. I
wasn't even saying it like that. I just know that's been like a sore subject for the past few years, like the abortion conversation. So I said I didn't want to get political. I'm not in any way showing my party stance. I'm just saying.
You kind of did.
What's been thought about throughout our country.
Typical Libby killing their kids. That's all I heard.
That's
all I heard.
Terrible. All right.
Speaking of typical Libby going into kids, how about Ricky Whatno?
Yeah, I think it might be time for our. I think it might be time for our interview, and then we'll talk some basketball to close out this episode. But let's kick it over to Ricky Waters.
Yeah, we're gonna kick it to him.
He was a Notre Dame running back in college.
This guy is an elite NFL player, and this is how we do him.
Should we keep talking about MLB for a little bit so he doesn't have to hear this part?
We should have asked him his stance on abortion.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we definitely should have done that. That's segued.
No, maybe next time he comes on, we'll loop you in so that you can exit.
If I could have seen it in the future, I would have asked him.
The hard-hitting questions, I leave those for you. It's like the Tom Cruise interview. You're not afraid to ask them. That's why we keep you around.
I'm not. Well, not politics. Scientology I'll ask about.
Okay. That's where you draw your line is Scientology.
I'm willing to lose the Scientologist part of our audience, but not half of them.
Yeah, so we're going to kick it over to the Ricky Waters interview. He went to Notre Dame, had a very good few years with Notre Dame in college, and we definitely asked a few questions about that. And then when he got to the NFL, he didn't play the first year with the 49ers, but he did make some loud noise once he did start playing for the Niners because he was a playoff legend for them. He had a very good game against our Giants even in the playoffs, and then an even better game in the Super Bowl. But
yeah, that team wasn't going anywhere. Everyone was old. I said that Giants team was old.
Yeah.
They had Rodney Hampton. That was about it.
That was the end of their, could you say dynasty? Maybe not. 2 Super Bowls?
No. Run. I'll say it was the end of the run.
They had a good run. Definitely.
End of the run, yeah. The success. And then the 90s got tough for them. But, yeah, Waters went over to the Eagles and closed off his career with the Seahawks. He was always good. Wherever he went, every stop he made, he was a fantastic running back. I remember watching him on the Seahawks, and he was always good for 100-plus rushing yards when he was with the Seahawks. So made a fantastic career, over 10,000 rushing yards. The biggest question for him is why is he not in the Hall of Fame? But, yeah, we had like probably 20 minutes worth of interview time with him, and it was a fantastic 20 minutes. So, yeah, let's push it over to the interview with Ricky Waters. Yeah, so we're excited to bring in Ricky Waters, NFL legend. You know his story with so many great teams and so many accolades throughout his career. And I wanted to start before the NFL career began because I thought it was really cool that you played at such a historic program in Notre Dame. And you had a historic coach in Lou Holtz at the time. Mm-hmm. And I was listening to your NFL Films interview that you did, and you talked about being an underdog during your teenage years and growing up, and mm-hmm. how people said you weren't big enough, you weren't fast enough, all that. Yeah. What do you feel like? What was your connection with Lou Holtz? Why did you pick Notre Dame, and what do you think he saw in you as a running back or as an athlete that he made the decision to go after you and bring you into Notre Dame?
Well, first of all, I went to Catholic school my whole life. So that put me on that path right there. And my parents worked very hard and to get me on that path and to get me in those schools and stuff like and it worked and it helped me so much being in those schools that I was in. So I think that a lot of it was that and my parents had a lot to do with it. It was really funny how my parents how they were like, "Yeah, we raised you. We know to we know you're gonna make the right decision. We know when the time comes, everything will be fine." And then it just kept getting closer and closer to that time. And it was like, yeah, yeah, Notre Dame, Notre Dame. So that was something that they pushed big for. My mom definitely, she loved Notre Dame, wanted me to go there from the beginning. And then once I there was also another coach that came. The first coach was Vinny Serrato. He came to see me and he watched me play and everything, and he said, God, I would love to see you in a Notre Dame uniform." And he was just like, "You're everything that we need, everything that we're looking for, all around player who can catch, run, do all these different things, play quarterback, play wide receiver, play running back." So I think that that's what they saw in me, and that's something that my high school coach really pushed. He kind of was like, be a Swiss Army knife, be able to do anything. And that was something that I took pride in. And I think that along with the fact that I was a good student and somebody who took my grades seriously, I think that is why they wanted me at Notre Dame. And I think it all worked out pretty good.
Oh yeah, it definitely did. I think it's pretty interesting that you do bring up the fact that you had the ability to play wide receiver, running back wherever they needed you, because something I did see was you took over for Tim Brown's flanker position, right? After he left Notre Dame for the NFL.
Mhm.
What was that like? Because I still see highlights of what Tim Brown did in the 80s for Notre Dame. It's pretty incredible, his career there. But you seem like you eased right into that position. What was that like having, I don't know if it was pressure of taking over for someone that had such big shoes, but and for like such a unique position as well. Like it wasn't with every program, so you kind of had
Right.
to right? You had to learn on the fly essentially, right?
Definitely. Well, one good thing was Tim Brown was there when I first got there, my freshman year when he
Yeah.
won the Heisman, I was there to see it. But also, he worked with me. He was somebody who I could go to and say, how'd you get those quick feet like that? Different things that you do. How'd you get the release from the cornerback like that? Different things that I still had to do even at the running back position when I first came in that I was using and watching a guy like that really helped me and having cool guys. I mean, just cool guys that they didn't when we got there, they hadn't won like we started winning after that. But they were all cool and they were all tough players and they knew how to win and they had learned how to win and they were putting that kind of giving us that lesson that we needed as freshmen. So when I was a sophomore, even though it was a lot of pressure, oh my God, pressure, to take over for the Heisman Trophy winner,
Yeah.
and the guy who played so well and was so great, and he's a Hall of Famer to this day. So he's a great player even in the pros. Uh, it was a lot of pressure on me, but I believed in myself. I believed I could do it. My parents instilled that in me to believe in yourself, to yeah, chin up, chest out, go for it, and never stop and be willing to work for it. And it took a lot of hard work. Like you said, I had to learn on the fly. I had to, it was a position that I had played before,
Right.
but obviously not on that level. And I had switched to running back. So then I had to switch back to that position and get that mindset again. But it ended up being a lot of fun playing, winning that championship as a flanker. I was, the leading receiver on our team. Obviously, I was one of the uh, people who they were even looking at for All American and all that kind of stuff. So, and to be able to just come right out the box, because our first game was against Michigan, and for me to be able to run that kickoff back, which is what people really knew Tim Brown for. was to be able to run kickoffs back. So I was like, oh my God, I'm back here. They're going to kick the ball to me. They kicked the punt. I swear it seemed like it took forever to come down. I was just like, please hurry up because, the people are running and they are
Yeah.
to take your head off. And now they can't even get in your way and stuff. But back then they kind of could do things, and they kind of could just come and nail you if you don't catch it and get out the way. So first thing you have to do is catch the ball. It's one of the hardest things to do in football, catch a punt. The way these guys kick it up so high and it comes down. But to catch it, to do what I did and to score a touchdown like that, that really gave me a boost and made me understand and know that I'm supposed to be here. This is my time now, and let's go. Let's shine.
Absolutely. And you bring up some cool points in like your previous responses about like I know that was specifically about switching positions, but also you talk about your Catholic upbringing, I guess.
Mhm.
You went to Catholic school growing up and then you went to a Catholic college. I guess this question is more like ESPN made a documentary. It was Catholics versus Convicts, and I think
Uh,
it was from your time at Notre Dame when you
yep.
played Miami. But as a whole, like rival games don't feel like that what they used to be in college because like even like Michigan you bring up, it's not like they don't even play Notre Dame anymore. Like Notre Dame and Michigan don't
Right.
square off anymore, and it's a shame because when I was growing up, that was one of the games on the schedule every year for college football that you looked forward to.
Yep.
I
Me too.
guess what was it like playing in those big rival games, especially the Miami versus Notre Dame one? And what's your thoughts on like what college football has become with the rival games, and even like people try to downplay like Michigan versus Ohio State now.
Right. And that is crazy. I love the rivalries. I love that rivalry that we had with them. Uh, the Hurricanes were a team that we knew we had to beat. But also we had rivalries with a lot of people because USC was a big rival of us
Yeah,
at that time, and they had really good teams. Michigan was our first game every year. So we start like a lot of people have UC now, they have like for lack of another word, a cupcake game. They have a game with a team that they're going to beat, and they're going to beat them by a lot. But we're starting off with a team we don't know for sure we can beat. We believe we can beat them, but we don't know for sure. And then Michigan State was right. Always the game after that was very hard team. We had every game. We had Penn State. We had Pitt. They were all really good teams, but we felt like if we beat the Hurricanes, we have a chance for the national championship at that time. That became our biggest rival for that period of time, just like the Cowboys was for us when I was at the 49ers. We felt like if
yeah,
we beat the Cowboys, we have a chance to win that Super Bowl. And we finally beat them, and we did that. And we won the Super Bowl when I was there. But the rivalries are what makes it, man. I mean, that is the game. And I love college football. I just love the pageantry of it and everything. And
yeah,
just, you're still doing homework and stuff like that, the things that you have to do, and you're living with the people. When you're in the pros, it's like a job, and you go there and then you go home, and some people you hang around with, some people you don't. But in college, you can't get away from them. It's like we're all there together. So, but it's a lot of fun that way, and that's why I'm really close to a lot of the guys to this day.
absolutely. And I'm happy you brought up the Cowboys game because I guess this is a two-part question, but you get drafted in the second round, but then you have to sit out your first season. And I'm sure
Yeah.
there's some frustrations about not having to play or not being able to play right away. But then, you came back even stronger. I mean, I wrote down some of the notes. Your big games on the 49ers, the 44-3 game against the Giants. I'm sure you've talked about that countless times,
So,
where you scored 30 points in a game, which that record still stands, I believe. Scoring three touchdowns in the Super Bowl, which was huge. Oh, finally overcoming the Cowboys. I mean, uh, at the time, was there a lot of frustration sitting out the first year? And do you feel like you came back a stronger player because of it?
big time, big time. I mean, when I had to win my teammates over before anybody else because they when I first got hurt like that and got injured, I broke my foot. Then when I came back, I actually was ready to come back that year, and then I broke my hand. So then I was out the whole year, and they would call me glass man, plastic man. I mean, it wasn't nice to me at that time, and they had already gone in another direction with the running backs position. I was, the last guy on the totem pole. I went from potentially being the first to the last. So I had to dig deep. I had to practice hard. I ran all my plays out in a way that I probably wouldn't have if that didn't happen. I was in that weight room more than I ever had been in my life. I was working with great players, Jerry Rice, all these guys, John Taylor, all these guys. I went out and I would work with them on receiving the ball, catching the ball, the different things that we would do. We had this jugs machine that shoots punts out, and we was shooting it right at us, catching it right off of it. And I remember when I first was able to do that, where it didn't almost take my head off. You had to put your helmet on, and they were going out there without their helmet doing it because they were so good at it. And I became good at it. But those are the things that we had worked on, and it was like all year round. It wasn't like on the off season you had this time to hang out and go to the beach, and people thought I was hanging out at the beach and all that stuff for the summer and all that. That wasn't happening with me. I had to dig deep and had to get it, but I had to do that my whole life. So I think that starts with my dad and my mom and what they instilled in me, but then also the different mentors that I had on along the way, and the different players that ushered me in and helped me, and in turn I was able to pass that on to other young players, and I had some great players come after me as well.
Absolutely. Is it cool if I ask two quick questions to close this out?
Yeah.
Um, I just have a quick question because you played for three teams. I know it's probably
Mhm.
hard to reestablish yourself. You had to do it your rookie or your when you first joined the Niners, and
Right.
then you had to do it at Notre Dame. But just
Right.
continuing to have to do it every time you start in a new city. You did it with the
Right.
Eagles, and you brought that success and that playoff experience there. And then my memories are always the Seahawks. I remember you were just still like one of the top running backs in the game, and that was the tail end of your career.
Yeah.
Did I guess my question is, did that factor into you retiring at 32? Was the what went into being at the top of your game every season? And the other part is, what was it like going to a new city and having to like essentially reestablish yourself every time?
Yep. It was tough because you have to, like I said, you have to win your teammates over first. Then you have to win the coaches over. But then
Right.
you have to win over the fans as well. And so it was hard to do each place, but I was able to do it because I believed in myself and I believed in my skills. And I knew that if I just continued to stay focused and locked in, we always talked about staying focused and locked in. And that is one of the things that I really think pushed me through at those times. Because sometimes you have to put the blinders on. You have to be like the horse so that the horse don't see all the stuff going on, so that you can focus and tunnel vision. Sometimes tunnel vision is not always a good thing, but in football, it's a good thing when you can just focus on what you have to do. Don't worry about everything that people are saying about you. Don't worry about if people are booing you, if you're at home or if you're away. Shouldn't matter. It doesn't matter if that team is the number one ranked defense over there or if they're the ranked 20th. It doesn't matter. Everybody, I saw it the same, and I stayed locked in no matter who we played. And I think that that's why I did so well at all those different places.
Absolutely. Last question. I just want to ask about the running back position now.
Mhm.
What Saquon Barkley did last season was incredible.
Yes. Oh,
But
that was so much fun to watch.
it was,
Him and McCaffrey before that. So I got.
yeah, I mean, it's there's still a lot of great running backs, and I feel like we let some of these factors get into it, like longevity and stuff like that play into what they mean to an organization. But
Mhm.
Saquon kind of dismissed that last season. I think Josh Jacobs kind of dismissed that on the Packers last
Yeah, I
year.
like him too.
Aaron Jones, stuff like that.
Yep.
What's your thoughts on like this is such a heavy passing league now?
Yes.
What's your thoughts on the importance of the running back position compared to when you were playing?
Yeah, it did seem like it was starting to get phased out there. So I'm
Yeah.
glad that these guys have come back and they're having the years that they're having. Henry as well. There's some really good running backs still there, and I think that they're holding on for all of us. To keep that alive. And I just think that running backs, especially running back like me, I consider myself an every down back. So it doesn't matter if it's 4th and 1, 3rd and 1, or it's 3rd and 20, whatever. I'm still your guy that you need in there because I can make a play to get that first down regardless. And that's what I took pride in. Like I said, being that Swiss Army knife, they could do everything. And I think that even though it is a passing league, and I understand why it's a passing league, and they don't want to get people even hurt. Like
Yeah.
be a cloud of dust, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. So it was a lot of hitting, a lot of smashing, and all that. So I understand why they've changed that, and also it's more fan friendly, if you will, to see the bombs and to throw the ball down the field like that.
Yeah.
But I'm just glad that I could do both. So I like it don't matter. Even if I was on the passing team, I know I would still get my yards in. And I pretty much was on a passing team, for most of my career. They
Yeah.
they was more pass first than it was run. But I kind of changed their mind and made them want to run a little more and that kind of stuff. So it was a lot of fun for me to be able to do that when I was playing, and I love what Saquon did. And like I said, I think the running back position is still alive. Don't give up on it. Because
No.
there's things that you do that the running back does that I just want people to understand, and a lot of it's even blocking. And like Steve Young said it very well. They were asking about me, and he told him he was like, "Man, the guy could do everything," and I didn't have to worry about him. If he's in the game, I know he's going to get his block. If he's on the backside, I know he's going to get his block. I know he's going to do what he has to do. He's going to get open. He's going to turn his head around quick if I feel the blitz or whatever, and he got to
Right.
come. I get my head around quickly. I'm gonna make sure I'm presenting a catching motion for him to see that, yeah, I'm ready to catch and receive this ball.
Yeah.
So those are the things you have to do, and you just have to in this system as it is now, or my system that I played in, and the way the NFL is now, you got to be able to do everything. That's all. And the guys that you mentioned, those guys can do everything.
Yeah, people don't think about the blocking component of a three down back. It's so crucial, but yeah, you did it all for sure, and it's not as common anymore. But I just want to throw in there before I let you go, you're a Hall of Famer in my book, by the way. Just
Oh, thank you.
such a storied career. I'm so appreciative that I had the opportunity to speak with you, and I can't wait to get this out to everyone. But thank you so much.
It's very awesome. Yeah, I love it. I love talking to you guys, and man, appreciate you.
Yeah, that was the Ricky Waters interview. That was a fun one, but we'll switch it over. We have a lot of football coming this way this summer. In-depth previews of every division. So and we're gonna try to
Sorry,
get
do I sound like I
representation.
have my microphone on?
What are you saying?
How's my audio been coming through? Good or bad?
It's good.
Cool.
Great. Never been
I
better.
say like shouldn't the light be on?
What light?
Like there should be like a.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's recording on there.
It's not gonna be great audio. Actually, I have no idea how good the audio is on my computer, but probably not great.
Sounds pretty good to me. I'm hearing
it
it
sounds
pretty
fun. Sounds. I didn't even know you weren't even using it.
I might have to get a new microphone, Steve. I think old Bluey's not working.
Oh no. Do you have it plugged
My
in?
boy Blue.
Oh, see, it's like
Yeah, that's weird.
what?
A little bit. It's showing
We have
life.
life.
Let there be life.
Oh,
it's on.
alive.
There you go.
Alive.
And now it's not. What a buzzkill.
Well, whatever. I like this model though. I'll just buy this. All right.
Flying
Well,
model rocket.
I'm pretty sure that's the quality we've gotten the entire episode so far. So
I think we keep that in. Yeah, let's talk NBA though. So
we're just keeping the whole thing in. All right.
yeah, why not? Yeah,
cares?
NBA. The Kevin Durant trade actually became official today. All like the moving pieces are like in place. So the Houston Rockets got Kevin Durant. They now have a pretty awesome starting lineup actually. Fred VanVleet, Amen, Thompson. Is it Amin Thompson? I think. Kevin
Amen.
Durant, Amen Thompson, Kevin Durant, Jabari Smith Jr., Alperen Sengun, Reed Shepard on the bench, Dorian Finney-Smith on the
This is
bench.
probably the face I made is the face you make when I try to pronounce baseball names. So full circle.
I never say
Sengun, the NBA All-Star, like a top 3 center in the league.
I know
Yes.
I know he's an all-star and he's great, but I never actively say it out loud, and I don't watch the Rockets enough to sit
That's
here.
true.
I know I messed that up.
Thompson, I can give you like a 1 or 2 year leeway because he's like a newer kind of star. He had a breakout year this year.
I know his brother's in the league. I know Amen Thompson too, but I just
Clay Thompson.
Again, I don't
Clay Thompson and
I
Amen
don't
Thompson.
I don't say their names enough. Clint Capella, Jeff Green. This team's deep. So this trade, at first I was like, what are they doing? Because they were going in the right direction. They have a fantastic head coach, but looking at the amount of talent that's on this roster now and how deep they are also, even with trading for Kevin Durant, this trade looks better and better. Would you guys agree?
Doesn't it feel good seeing Clint Capella in a Rockets uniform again?
I guess.
It feels like everything's right.
Something about that name.
Yeah.
Deserves to be in it.
I mean, just him and Harden, it'd be 5 times a game you'd get a lob. The guy was just like a perfect pick and roll lob center, which obviously is like Harden's specialty. You saw what he unlocked in Zubac this year.
Would you say this team could win an NBA championship? Are they good enough?
If the Thunder get better and they no longer have these hiccups, I don't know if anyone's going to touch them. Like, they might just be that good going forward. But if we take that out of the equation, then I don't see. I think every single question you ask about the West will have to be prefaced with, assuming the Thunder falter a little bit. Who would you say is another strong candidate for second best team in the West? I mean, if we assume we get 45 games out of Durant and he can successfully give them, good playoff minutes. And by good playoff minutes, I mean just being available, because obviously he's a great playoff performer and he always has been, except for Game 7 against the Warriors in 2016. But other than that, the guy's mostly been able to elevate good teams to a higher ceiling. I mean, we've seen what happens when, the team's sort of not going the right way. He's left a couple of franchises sort of not in ruins, but, not on the greatest terms. But I just don't see how this isn't like the biggest threat to the Oklahoma City Thunder. I mean, they're pretty complete, and that offensive unit, like, there's anybody there can get a shot.
Yeah.
Except maybe, Clint Capella's not going to start. Never mind. But, Van Vliet can get his own shot.
Yeah.
Durant, I'm pretty sure I've seen him get his own shot. Sengun against most other centers is automatic from inside like 10 feet. So,
and you can't really bank on the Timberwolves to make the run that they did this year every season. I mean, when you compare the Timberwolves to what OKC was, it was they weren't even close to a complete team, and OKC was 10 deep. So it's hard to think that the Timberwolves will be competitors every year unless they make some moves themselves. I mean, the Mavs really need to have Kyrie Irving in that lineup, which they may not have the entire next season. There was an interview today of Kyrie Irving saying, or he was asked if he was going to be back for the playoffs, and he said he's not going to rush back. He wants to be, over 100% better.
Well, they have D'Lo now steadying the ship, so they'll be fine.
Yeah. Is that fine?
No, not at all.
No, yeah,
I mean, the Lakers parted ways with him for a reason, didn't they?
There's a bit of difference with the efficiency with him, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I guess my question for Durant, though, is like, what do you expect out of Durant at this point of his career? Because the Rockets do have guys, I think, that can be the number one and let Durant kind of be kind of the 2 or 3. But do you really bring Durant in to be that piece, that role player in some ways? I mean, we talked to Golliver, John. I mean, he didn't think that He thought that Durant was still going to get that $50 million contract, which says he's a one still in the NBA, because you're not paying just anybody $50 million a year. But does he have the physical capability to be that one still?
So I thought it was weird with Durant when he like made the requests of the teams he wanted to go to. What was it? It was Houston, Miami, San Antonio. It looked like it was all teams that didn't have the whole state income tax, which made me think this guy's just trying to chase money. But then he goes to Houston, and it's like, all right, if he could just sit in the corner for more than half, maybe probably half the time he's playing and just shoot threes, especially early on in the season, like no one can block his shot. So, if he just gets his 15 to 20 points that way, especially early, doesn't really exert himself until come playoff time, he could be good. But to answer your other question you guys were just talking about, the second best team in the West, I mean, Oklahoma City to me, guys, is weird. Like, did they feel like a team that just won a championship? Not at all.
They felt like a team that was so great that they kind of choked from like a shooting perspective, but their defense was so good it didn't matter.
Yeah, like I think it would have been a bigger story.
And Halliburton got injured.
Won. Yeah,
but
like if Indiana won, it would have been nuts because it's the Pacers, Indiana basketball.
Yeah, 68 wins is rare though. Like that's like winning 15 games in the NFL. Like it doesn't happen that often.
Just like their whole business-like attitude, talking about Oklahoma City again, just made me think that like, are they really gonna like come back again this year and go through it? Because they looked not they looked miserable celebrating the championship, but it was like, woohoo, yeah, we did it. We were supposed to do it.
Only because the pieces are young and they're gonna have them for a while, and they have like all the draft picks in the world, so they could either trade for other pieces or they can continue to draft the way that they do. And Sam Presti is incredible at that. And
yeah, his long run is finally starting to come to fruition. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, he can evaluate talent, whether it be through the draft or through free agency. He's shown that he can do both, and I think that's why the Thunder can continue to be the Thunder. And to your point, if Halliburton doesn't get injured and the Pacers somehow find a way to win, I think that motivates this young Thunder team even more to come back next year and just close the deal. But
I can see that.
The NBA is like any sport, actually. Like winning a championship's hard in sports, and that's why the Celtics didn't repeat this year, because they had an injury to their best player, and I think some of their other guys were dealing with some probably minor injuries or things that were kind of derailing their playoff experience. But who's to say that doesn't happen to the Thunder next season or something, or who's to say somebody doesn't fall off, one of the role players, because I think SGA is going to be SGA. He's really solidifying himself as a star player in this league, but it's really up to the other guys to continue to grow. I mean, they have the pieces there to continue the longevity of this this franchise and this success, I should say. But and like it doesn't feel like there's too many teams out there that can hang around with them. Like when we're thinking about the Western Conference, like we're having trouble thinking about teams who can actually compete with the Thunder. It's the same thing. Like the Eastern Conference is about to have a very down year next year. I mean, the Celtics are screwed. The Pacers are screwed. So it really comes down to like, can the Knicks build a championship contender team, and can the Cavs build a championship contender team? Because there's only a handful of teams that you're going to go into the NBA season saying, wow, they're NBA contenders. And you have to almost throw the Rockets in there just by default, because this deep roster, and they're going to come into the season as the number 2 Western Conference team, or at least predicted number 2.
And they were the 2 seed last year.
Yeah, exactly. With less talent, probably, or younger talent, at least.
Yeah, it's crazy how much Jalen Green has fallen. I just like when they finished to the 24 season, when they almost made the playoffs, and he was probably he looked like one of the best 10 players in the league. It's like he's almost like a lot of teams, like it seemed like a lot of teams didn't even want him. Like his playoff performance against the Warriors was that bad, which it was, but
it was really bad.
It's just crazy how 6 games can change your career like that.
I mean, to be fair for Jalen Green, he's only 23 years old. He had one bad playoff experience. I mean, if we were going to judge players on playoff experiences, Julius Randle would have been out of this league years ago. But because we kept giving him opportunities, and he actually got to change the scenery, and he looked fantastic with the Timberwolves, and was a big reason why they were in the Western Conference Finals this year. So, who's to say that Jalen Green, change of scenery won't be a bad thing for him? But I mean, the Suns aren't in a position where they're not in a Timberwolves type position, I should say, where they're going to be expected to make the playoffs. Anytime you have like a Devin Booker type, you could squeeze into like a play-in game and maybe the playoffs. But I mean, like Jalen Green may not get another opportunity to prove himself in the playoffs for a long time, and because of that, like we're gonna keep saying, all right, he's the guy who can score 20 plus points per game in the regular season, but can he do it in the playoffs? The Suns have to figure it out. They have 4 wings right now, uh, and
Yeah.
I saw a report recently that what's his Bradley Beal just got the okay to look around for different situations that he can or circumstances that he can see himself in. So Bradley Beal's been interesting because apparently he loves being in Phoenix and his family likes it there, and he was making a big
He
deal
likes
out
he
of
likes
it.
being there, not playing basketball there.
Yeah, I mean that's clear in his
Not much not to
performance and his
like.
He doesn't like playing basketball. Period. It would seem like.
yeah, he's just like done with it. He's just taking his paycheck.
It's crazy. He led the league in scoring. Like this isn't. I don't know. I guess I have to look to see if that was a contract year. Maybe that's why he did it.
Isn't it wild too? Because like he actually tried with the Wizards, who were atrocious and not good at all, and then he
Yeah.
goes to a Suns team that
Well, him and
was
John Wall together almost made the conference finals. Like they were actually a solid team when he was like the second best guy.
yeah, but the
And
year
even with
that
Westbrook, they weren't like they were still a playoff team.
he led the league in scoring, the Wizards were terrible.
Um, I forget. It might have. Yeah, they weren't great. I'm trying to think if it was a Westbrook year, but if Westbrook's on your team, you're probably not leading the league in scoring.
The Westbrook
So
year was not good for them. I remember
yeah,
that year. Um,
yeah. No,
so
you're right. They were probably a lottery team that year.
yeah, exactly. And the fact that he went out and balled out every night. I don't know if it's because he was the number one guy and he likes being that number one guy, but the fact that he went to the Suns, who were built to be NBA Finals type team with Durant, Booker, Bradley Beal, and co, and he just didn't put in any effort whatsoever. Like that's appalling to me, and that's what put him in this situation where the Suns are pretty much desperate to get rid of him. They'll buy him out at this
I
point.
know. It's crazy. Like, are they going to try to build around Devin Booker? Because what they really weren't anything until Chris Paul joined that team. Like Devin Booker
Yeah.
never even came close to the playoffs. I don't think.
I think you just hope that like anytime you have someone who can go off scoring like that, you'll have a
He's
chance.
definitely
Maybe
a big piece to have. I just don't know if like Devin Booker as your best guy in an average team is going to make the playoffs in the West.
it's pretty much prove it type thing. But I think you take Devin Booker's ceiling and what he could do to a franchise over just about anyone else you had on the roster. I mean, I would take Devin Booker over the aging Kevin Durant any day of the week. I would take Devin Booker over a lot of stars in the league probably.
Jalen
When
Brunson.
he,
Oh come on.
Maybe. I would say maybe.
Devin Booker over Jalen Brunson?
I would say
yeah, I have a softness towards Jalen Brunson.
I don't even think that's a question.
Now at this
you would
point,
take
like
you would take Booker?
No, Brunson easily.
You
yeah,
would take Brunson?
after the past 2
Brunson's
seasons,
an
maybe.
elite ISO scorer in the playoffs. I guess Devin
Yeah.
Booker never had the chance, and he did have some good playoff games. Even with Durant, like the one series against the Nuggets, when they both had like 40, like back-to-back games or something. Yeah, I don't know what to make of him. I don't know. I would still take Brunson, but
Yeah, I'd probably take Brunson, but it's a conversation worth having. Is Booker? Let's not forget how elite he can be when he stays healthy.
I was gonna say, yeah. Has he even really? Have we seen him hit his ceiling in the last year? Which we know he still has because he's still young.
Jokic or Booker?
Jokic.
Okay. All right.
Easily.
We're all on the same page again. Good.
Yeah.
I wanted to see Joe's reaction if you said Booker.
No.
I wouldn't known he was kidding.
Yeah. I should have just said Booker.
I have
and
more
got the
faith
straight
in John's
face.
sports acumen that he wouldn't say that unironically.
Could have said it just to see your reaction.
Yeah, I
or
should've
you could
said
do
it.
like that, like a mad.
Yeah.
That would have been it.
I'm just.
Let's talk about. I thought an interesting team, and I was kind of surprised that this happened. Miles Turner went over to the Bucks, and apparently he was waiting for the Pacers to match the Bucks offer, and it doesn't seem like the Pacers wanted to, and that's when he was like, "Screw it, we're without our star player for the next year, so I'm going to go over to the Bucks who are willing to pay me." But just looking at their
favorite, by the way, how many times have I brought up Miles Turner?
You love him. That's
I didn't love him in the finals. He didn't have a great finals, but I
Yeah.
think that's an exception to how he's been in the playoffs. But he is getting a little older.
You're gonna make the Bucks your number one team in the Eastern Conference.
Oh my!
Now.
The Knicks. I would have gotten a Miles Turner jersey if he joined the Knicks.
Wow, look at that!
I know.
When's the last time you bought a jersey, Joe?
I don't think I've ever owned an NBA jersey, but Miles Turner would have been the first.
What are jerseys you have owned across sports?
Not many. I'm not a big jersey guy. Ahmad Bradshaw.
That's a good name.
Back in the day, I had an Andy Pettit.
Okay, John respects that.
Before I jumped the bandwagon, I think I had a David Wright. But it was like a shirt. I don't know.
Jersey.
That might be it.
So I've had 3 NBA jerseys. I've had a Keith Van Horn,
Wow,
Nice.
the Nets, right?
Tracy McGrady, Magic Tracy McGrady.
All right.
Did you guys own those? Did you? No, just white. Yeah. No, just white and blue.
No, that different era actually. That was post pinstripe.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then a Shaq Lakers jersey.
Okay, that was popular.
Classics.
Jack.
Shout out to Tracy McGrady having the best signature shoe of all time.
Did he?
I don't know if you guys. Yes. Type in. I don't know if you guys remember. Type in Tracy McGrady signature black Adidas. It is the greatest basketball-looking shoe of all time.
I didn't know you were a sneakerhead.
I'm not.
Is it
But
is it the 2 Evo?
It's the
Oh,
Tracy Mac.
This is a new
Evo.
thing. This is Sneaker Corner.
Such a pretty shoe.
Oh, that is
Oh
a
my
nice
God.
shoe. It's still around. It looks like people are selling it.
It just came out again last year, and I may or may not have bought a pair just to have in the closet.
Whoever designed that deserves a raise. That is
It's a good shoe.
it's very sexy.
Yes.
I want to get a. Do they still make Starberries?
They're coming back.
Are they really?
Those were known as like the
Starberries.
everyman shoe, right? They were like $15.
They were like $35. Yeah, remember the Shacks too that he made? They're like $20 at Payless.
Oh yeah. Those never took off though, right? The Shaq shoes.
No. Starberry shoes. Let's see. Are they coming back? Starberry shoes making a comeback in 2026.
If this podcast becomes big enough, I'll release my own line of Vans.
Ooh.
That'd be incredible.
For
I
somebody
don't
who
even
doesn't
know
even
what you would put
skateboard.
on there.
I don't even know if
That
they'd
would
want
be
me.
nuts.
Just because you
Vans,
warned them
the
you're a
everyday
5.
man.
Casual, everyday lifestyle Vans. That'll be my thing. For those who don't skate.
I like it.
So would they be like Vans that look like Nikes?
I was gonna say like the freaking
They look like Pumas that you do yard work in.
That's great.
straps or laces.
Oh, Velcro straps.
Well,
And they
I
light
use
up
Velcro.
and they're the ones that like light up whenever you.
Yes!
I forget. Yeah, I used to have those
What were
too.
those called? Ketos or something like that? Those
Oh,
type of
I don't
shoes?
even know. I remember I got lost one time. And that's how my parents found me.
Your light-up shoes.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
4th of July at Trade Winds.
Ooh, my friend owned the trade ones.
Yeah.
Owns or owned?
Owned. It's gone. It's all
It-
like.
It's been closed for like 20 years. 20.
I
something
actually saw. We would go there. We had like a tournament in Little Silver, a baseball tournament. We would go there between games just to hang out and stuff.
What a
We
spot.
freaking showed up there one time and Train was like performing when we really had no idea that they were like a big band. I think I saw
they
them
somehow
and the Foo
pulled the
Fighters.
biggest
There's the
musical
Foo Fighters
guest.
there too.
Yeah,
A bunch of times.
Green Day played there. Well,
Did
Bruce Springsteen,
Nirvana?
obviously, but yeah.
No, that was
Like
too
big
long
time
ago,
acts.
right?
What?
I asked if Nirvana did, but that was probably too long ago, right?
The Wallflowers, I think they played there.
Oh,
Nirvana
good
might have played there.
selection.
Who knows?
what were we even talking about NBA wise? Tracy
We're talking
McGrady.
about Tracy McGrady's shoes.
Jerseys.
What jerseys have you owned? I would own a Miles Turner jersey. We're talking about Miles Turner.
Miles Turner. So the Bucks bring in Miles Turner. They now have a starting five of Kevin Porter Jr., Gary Trent Jr., Kyle Kuzma, Giannis, and Miles Turner. Is that a team that can
That sounds
compete
like
in the Eastern
a
Conference?
great 7 seed to me.
Okay.
Maybe a 6 seed.
No, it
That'd
sounds like
be
a
a-
3 seed that loses in the first round because Doc Rivers sucks.
I think Orlando's gonna be really good. I think
Yeah.
Orlando's gonna be really good. Cleveland's gonna be really good again. The Knicks,
Does Miami
knock on
return
wood,
to their little under the
Pistons?
radar goodness?
Pistons
they
are
have
going
to
to
make
make
some
it.
moves.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, they-
Hero and Adebayo, you add another like elite. You add an elite player to that. Yeah, they could be under the radar.
5, 6 seed.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
The
be
Pistons-
surprised if it's like Orlando, Cleveland, Orlando, New York in the conference finals.
New York. I like what the Knicks did with their the bench players they brought in.
Jordan Clarkson, I would have loved him 3 years ago, but I think he can still get us 15.
Yeah, I still like him off the bench. And then
We
that guy
needed bench scoring. That was a need that was addressed.
they got that guy from the Sixers. I forget his name, but he's good.
Another tough name to say.
He's good for like 12 points a night. I saw.
Okwangwo,
I don't know.
Yabusele.
Yeah,
I think it's,
that sounds right.
Okay, those names said nothing. Yeah. Oh, who's Okwangwo?
Did you guess that on the spot, or you actually remember the name?
No, I remember it was a name that I was. For some reason, Okwangwo came up, but no, it's Yabusele.
What do you guys think of the Mike Brown hiring? We haven't been able to talk about that.
He just seems like he's been on like every team in the league. I don't know. I can't really judge
jersey
him.
tagging?
His first stint was he took over for the Cavaliers, but that was right when LeBron James started averaging a 27, 7 and 7. So like what? I mean, how much do you attribute to Mike Brown? He took over the Lakers shortly after Kobe retired, I think, and they weren't very good. And then Frank Vogel took over, and they won a title. He took over Sacramento. I think he brought them to the playoffs, which was a nice turnaround.
But he got fired this year.
Yeah, but every coach gets
That
fired.
was weird, especially from the Kings.
I'd still rather have Tibbs. I mean, if we could just have a version of Tibbs that doesn't run people on the ground, that's like the perfect coach. But he just
And that's why they got rid of him eventually, because the players were getting sick of it. I mean,
that's
there's
stubbornness.
there's no reason that like a random January game that means nothing. The starters should still be in the third quarter when they played the whole first half. Like, use your bench. But like I like Thibs a lot, and it seems like the players like so. There's a survey that comes out every year, and it seems like he gets voted like the most hated coach, but that's only outside looking in. I think the players who actually like suit up for him really do respect him and like him a lot. But
Yeah.
the thing with Mike Brown is what the Knicks liked is, first off, they struck out with almost everyone they tried to call for. Everyone
so
said
that's
no to
seventh
them.
Pick.
That's
Yeah.
they wanted to get rid of Tibbs more than they wanted a different guy, which
That's what it was.
Seems
They-
crazy
They
to me.
wanted
Scary.
they wanted a new face. You don't typically do that after your team made the Eastern Conference Final. But Mike Brown, I think the things that they liked about him was he's very good with veteran players, and that's what this Knicks team is now. It's a veteran-heavy team. And he also utilizes practices where there's a lot of reports that came out that Thibs barely did practice during the regular season. So I think they really want, instead of like making your guys just like run until the wheels come off during a regular season game where it's high speed at all times, I think they wanted the guys staying fresh during like these practices and someone who's going to be tough on them during the practices and really get the most out of them. And I mean, you can say what you want about Mike Brown. He's going to get the most out of this team. So that's what I like about the hire. I'm not going to close the book on him right away like some people want to. I did see a lot of Knicks fans actually happy after they thought about like who they were bringing in. I mean, you're bringing in a veteran coach who has had success. I don't know if it's the type of success you want. Like it's not like the Pacers when they made their big hire. I mean, at least you knew he won a NBA Finals before. I don't think Mike Brown has a finals.
Carlisle showed why he's one of the best.
Yeah.
I mean, people are saying he barely outcoached Tibbs, which I don't know if I believe that, but
I don't believe that. I mean,
I just think he had a lot more to work with.
There's no reason the first round should have been as close as it was. I think Tibbs had a very bad coaching first round. I mean, the Celtics round,
I think the Pistons are just good, by the way.
Yeah, but there were some tough decisions during that. Yeah. I was kind of sitting there, like it was even a joke during like the final game when they were blowing out the Celtics in that series. What was it, Game 6? I think it was. They were blowing out the Celtics, and it took him till like 2-3 minutes left in the fourth quarter to take out his starters. When the Celtics took out their starters, like the beginning of the fourth quarter, it felt like it was like stuff like that like I bet irked the front office for the Knicks.
All he has to do is fix that, and he's like the perfect coach.
Yeah, but ridiculous. I also think he was too stubborn to do it. But what sucks about it is he grew up a Knicks fan, I think. He's from New York. It was like his dream scenario.
But you think since he hasn't won a title yet, he wouldn't even have like the thought in his head like, well, I've done it, they haven't. You know? Like he's come close a lot.
He has. And he's built up teams like
Chicago, he got to the conference finals.
I was going to say, he hasn't made it out of the conference finals, though. Mike Brown's made it to how many finals? 1, 2?
Good question. I don't think Mike Brown's made it to any. Oh, no. LeBron dragged him.
LeBron.
LeBron did drag him to the finals in 2007.
With Ilgauskas.
Yep. Ilgauskas, Boobie Gibson.
Who else is on that Cleveland team? Was Varejao there?
Delonte West.
Yeah, well, we know the story there.
Yeah, God.
That might have been the reason they lost the 2011 finals. I don't even know.
I hope West is doing well.
Yeah,
someone saw him at a gas station. He was homeless or something.
Yeah. Well, he had
it was a while ago. I just remember there was a story on that.
Yeah.
He coached. Kobe was still actually leading that team when he coached them. So he made it once with LeBron.
Okay.
Yeah, further than Tibbs, but I still think Tibbs is a better coach.
Does Jonas Valanciunas?
Valanciunas, yeah.
Does he look like Travis Kelce, kind of?
A little bit.
It's a white guy with a beard.
Yeah, European Travis Kelce.
So the Nuggets brought in Cam Johnson, Bruce Brown, Jonas Valanciunas.
Looks like Jason Kelce a little more.
Nah, I see Travis.
It's in the eyes. It's in the eyes, Chico.
Trust me. I know this stuff. Where do we think Damian Lillard ends up? Not that it's going to matter next season, but for future reference.
Sports Illustrated 5 hours ago said Celtics thinking about a blockbuster deal, even though I think, like John pointed out, is he going to be around next year?
Go there, though. Yeah, there's no.
He's out for the season, right? Pretty much.
Yeah, this would be for like 1 or 2 more years of like 50% Dame with a healthy Tatum, and maybe Jaylen Brown doesn't get traded yet, which is a pretty decent core to have, honestly. But
yeah, 2 years from now,
you're basically just saying we're picking you up and sort of stashing you away and hoping that you have something left.
Yeah. You really have to hope that these guys come, because both, I think Lillard and Tatum are both Achilles injuries, right? So you got to hope that both these guys come back from these Achilles injuries the same. It's like one of the hardest injuries to come back from.
And Lillard's a tiny guy that relies on quickness and jerky step back motions. Like Durant's just sort of like, he can go at his own pace. He's longer than everybody. So I feel like his game Even though like he doesn't look like he lost too many steps, but I don't know.
I think Tatum will come back fine.
Yeah, because he has a lot of post game, like a lot of mid range posts, and he has size. Size always helps, no matter what.
Yeah, definitely. Um, the last thing I wanted to talk about NBA wise, I mean that there was free agency moves, but I feel like it hasn't been a big splash this summer like we've had in past summers. But what do you think's gonna happen with the LeBron James scenario with the Los Angeles Lakers?
I think he's gonna stay,
Yeah,
and if he goes anywhere, Bronny's gonna have to go with him. So it's kind of like, you know,
Yeah,
I mean, his chance to leave was last year if he was going to come east, just because he would have had 2 years left. But because he only has the 1 year left, more than likely, no team's going to want that. Unless, maybe come halfway through the season, the Lakers are out of it. You can prorate the contract money wise. Maybe even just throw on a second year and convince him to play another year. But I think he's done after this year, and I think he's just going to stay with the Lakers.
do you want LeBron to come to the Knicks, Steve? Would you want that?
Basically, yeah, that was the question.
what do you give up though? I just if you bring in LeBron this year and you give up like OG or Bridges and
Mike Brown, that's his guy. This
That's
could
the
this could be the sign.
dots.
Yep.
yeah, I mean even like our co-host Mike, he texted me. He's like, I really feel like LeBron's going to come to the Knicks. He was telling me, and he's like, you give up still have first round draft picks left. You give up like Mitch Robinson, OG, stuff like that. But my thing is, like you're pretty much saying like this is the year we're going all in on. Because if like LeBron could come in, if it doesn't work out for the Knicks, he could be like, yeah, I'm retiring next year, after next season, and then like where does that put you? Because it puts you in an even bigger hole because now you don't have draft picks. You got rid of Mitch Robinson, you got rid of OG, so now you're coming back with Jalen Brunson, Carl Anthony Towns, Bridges, but like nothing else after that, So that's a tough decision to make unless you're sure the next summer there's some major free agents coming in that you're going to go all in on and try to spend some money because that LeBron James money will come off the books, whatever he opted into. What was it, like 52 million a year? But I have a hard time giving up those type of pieces for a 41, 42-year old. And I know he's like the GOAT of our era, and he's been one of the best for the past 20 years, but it's just that's hard for me. And not for nothing, like a healthy LeBron James with Luka on the team got knocked out in the first round this year. So like, is he going to instantly come in and fix all your problems? Is he going to make you better than the Thunder?
They also didn't have a center, which
yeah,
that's a pretty big flaw to have for a team.
You would just have to trade OG, I think. And I don't care about window this, that. The Knicks window is this year.
Yeah.
They literally have a gift of a freaking conference, not even division, conference, just waiting for them to just go. You got to if he's available, I'm not saying don't make the move because you kind of have to make it. But I don't think Mr. Dolan's going to make the move because he's such a vindictive you-know-what. And if him burning, the Knicks before. But, again, connect more dots. Who was LeBron's agent before his buddy?
Who?
Fucking Leon
Paul?
Rose.
Oh,
Leon
yeah.
Rose
Leon
negotiated
Rose.
the Miami contract. Leon Rose was the guy. So if there was ever a time for it to happen, it would probably be now. And it would make a ton of sense. It would be 1 year. And they better effing win.
Do you think a big three of Carl Anthony Towns, Jalen Brunson, and LeBron James puts them as the favorites?
Not a big.
Yeah.
I think you'd have to look past the big three in that case, just because I think with the addition of Jordan Clarkson, it at least gives us a good of a chance as last year. Because I think I really think the Magic are going to be like 55 wins at least.
So now you're running out
And
A starting
Cleveland,
lineup.
although they overachieved last year, I see them around 55-ish.
Yeah.
So I think that would put us at like
Yeah.
a 3 seed, I think.
So you're running out a starting lineup of um, Brunson, Bridges, LeBron James, Karl Anthony Towns, and Josh Hart most likely, and then you have McBride, Clarkson off the bench. But it kind of leaves you, doesn't it kind of leave you in the same hole as last year where you don't have much bench anymore? And um,
You have Mitch too. Don't forget that.
oh,
That's 8.
package Mitch in that trade. It's not just
I
going to
don't
be.
think they would have to. I
I
think it
don't
would
think
just have
it's
to be
not going to be
OG.
just OG.
You think we're done with moves?
I think they need one more player. They'll get like a Quentin Grimes type player.
What if they end up with Westbrook? Or not Westbrook.
Oh, God.
Dame.
Ben Simmons or something.
Well, Dame
no,
won't be till
no.
next year kind of player.
Yeah. No, you cannot have Karl Anthony Towns and Ben Simmons on the same team. You cannot do that.
Ben Simmons might be 8 minutes a game in the playoffs if we're lucky. That guy's not. He's too much of a liability. You saw him on the Clippers. Like, he would give you a few good, like, fast break buckets, at least, like, just running a fast break, but I don't care how many shooting drills I see. The guy still refuses to shoot, and it probably is for good reason. I don't think he can.
The Knicks right now have one spot open on their roster. So you either go out and you get a free agent, or you say, screw it, let's think outside the box and try to make a big move.
Yeah, I mean, who's to say that Giannis still could come to the Knicks?
Yeah, but what are you giving up for
Still
Giannis?
traded.
Like, that's a guy who's in his prime right now.
That's Mitchell, Robinson, and OG Anunoby.
Might be more.
Brunson.
No, because you would take someone off the Bucks' hands that they don't want. They would have to take a bigger contract.
True.
Who's the biggest contract besides Giannis on the Bucks?
I'd almost rather do that, if I'm going to be honest.
Would you?
Yeah, because I can work a contract where Giannis is going to be with us, and this year it doesn't put so much pressure on this year. But
I would, I mean, you argue though LeBron fits better on this team, and that's not just because it's LeBron. Like, if you do that, Giannis is now not going to have his hands on the ball most of the time because that's going to be Brunson, and you already have Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns having issues playing with each other. And I don't think coaching is going to be fixing that. I think it's
maybe
a weird
at this
dynamic.
point in his career, Giannis doesn't want the ball in his hands. I mean, he is over the age of 30 now, right? Maybe it's probably better. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
he can't play the way he's playing if he wants to be elite into his mid-30s.
Absolutely not.
He's a maniac.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel very comfortable giving up Mitch Robinson in a Giannis trade just because Giannis can come out and get you 15 rebounds in a night along with 30 points. I mean, LeBron, when he's playing his best ball, can get you a triple-double, but I mean, I really don't know what LeBron James is going to be next season.
No, he's in Tom Brady territory. Like, the historical comparison for what he's doing past, like, 3 years ago, like, we have no idea any given game if this will be the one.
Also, like, he sat out a good amount of games this year still, and I don't think. I think part of it was by choice because of his age. I think he did have an injury too, but I think he prolonged the amount of time he was out for because of his age. That factored into it,
which is smart. And which is another reason why I think the Lakers are stupid not to trade him, because if the Lakers do that, he's your second option. You're without him for 15 to 20 games. They're gonna suck. You know, you put that on the Knicks, they'll probably still go over 500 without him on the roster.
Yeah, if you're telling me that it's only going to take OG to get LeBron, I would almost say like.
So.
I would almost say I'll throw in Mitchell Robinson because I know you want a center, and I know you just got Aton, but like Mitch Robinson's probably better than him in my opinion. I'll throw in a center for that price and give me one of Dalton Connect or who's the other guy, Reeves.
Austin Reeves. I would love him on the Knicks, dude. I don't know how they'd be able to pull that off.
Yeah, he'd be
but
pricey.
I would just say, hey, take all our picks. Honestly, get
They already did
What do
that,
we have
though,
left?
didn't
honestly, like you're taking on 52 million of LeBron James. Like you're taking that off the Lakers books. So you're like the fact that we're doing that should be enough to be like, hey, you're getting Mitch Robinson and you're getting OG. And OG's signed to what, a several year contract, so he's going to be with
they?
you.
3 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can't trade, according to ESPN, you cannot trade LeBron for OG straight up.
Because of the money.
Yeah. The Knicks are over the luxury tax threshold with this trade, and the incoming aggregate salaries exceeded what's allowed via the 125% plus.
Are you on the
100,000
trade
rule,
machine?
whatever that means. I am.
It's extra.
Yes. So yeah, it failed.
All right. I think we should leave on that note.
Yeah.
Failure.
I mean, we're throwing
LeBron would be
hypotheticals.
expensive and old, and I'm not sure if it would work. That's kind of how I feel.
Okay. That's an episode, I guess, right? Any other NBA news we really wanted to talk about? Like I said, free agency didn't feel too it felt a little underwhelming in some ways, so
There wasn't a lot out there.
no.
Kevin Durant
Yes.
kind of kicked it off and closed out the headlines. So
Yeah, there was a few like interesting moves that happened, but I don't think they were like headline material. So
yeah, I could see Giannis moving in like January before the deadline, if it's really shitty.
it's only going to get worse for him in Milwaukee.
Yeah, I mean, Miles
That's-
Turner is
that's
great
the
if he's
thing.
your, as much as I talk him up, if he's your fourth scorer, you're in a great spot. If he's your third, you're in an all right spot. But I mean, they're looking for him to be the second scorer almost, unless unless they think about Porter Jr. maybe taking a step up. But I don't know.
Yeah, you went
I
from
think he's also,
your-
I think he's also 30, and he's a big guy.
I think they're looking for Kyle Kuzma to be
And he works
like,
off of Halliburton mostly for his threes.
yeah. I think that
Kuzma.
they're doing the same thing as Washington. They want Kuzma to be that star that everybody thought he was going to be when he came into the league. It's just not happening at this point. But like, it sucks for the Bucks because when you put it from that perspective that you just did, Joe, you go from Giannis and Dame to Giannis and Miles Turner. That's ugly.
They won though in the last 5 years.
They have.
So
Yeah, they
It's
can't
true.
be too sad. Even though Dame wasn't a part of that team that they sold out for. Maybe they should have kept Drew Holiday. Who knows?
Drew Holiday, yeah. Who's
I mean,
pissed?
maybe
that he
that's
got
what started
traded.
everything.
All right. We'll call it an episode there. Good one, boys. We got a little bit of everything, it felt like. 4th of July hot dog eating contests, MLB and NBA. So we talked about sports that we hardly talk about on this show today. But yeah, next week's going to start our NFL previews. We got 4 interviews booked for next week for the NFC East preview. So I'm really excited to see that unfold. I think this project's going to be a big one this summer where we do the division by division breakdown. But thanks to Ricky Waters for coming on. Absolute legend. I remember him in those Seahawks jerseys, you know, playing every Sunday. So that was a really cool interview to do. But until next week, I actually got to throw this out there, though. I didn't tell either of you guys, but I started a TikTok. I thought that was a good way to grow a little bit.
further TikTok review, baby.
I don't support that.
I have to. It just feels like that's the number one social media site now. So if we're not on TikTok, we're falling behind. So Instagram, TikTok, we're on. Twitter page we hardly use, but we got the social medias. But give us
First
a
you turn
follow.
your back on liberals, now you turn your back on your country.
Didn't Trump try to bring TikTok back?
He's-
So-
I thought he
there's
tried
a-
shutting it down and they brought it back. I don't know.
Yeah,
He's
he
probably
brought it
gonna end
back.
up buying it somehow.
It is the number one social media right now for
It is.
so got to be on
Is
there.
Vine, can we still do Vines?
Oh man,
But Joey
Good
Vines,
times, good times on the Vines.
They can do 5-second clips. Hit
Th-
clips.
that's what they called. That's what they called them back in the
hit
day.
Clips.
Yeah.
Hit clips are good. NSYNC hit clips.
Oh my god.
Joey Vines over there.
It's gonna be
calling him
me. I get to hear a compressed version of the chorus.
Yes.
It's fucking great.
Yes.
Joe, I'm gonna start making you do the Skip Bayless 2-minute the videos of you just
Oh,
holding a
jeez.
phone up and giving
What,
instant
like
reaction.
4 in the morning yelling about the Cowboys.
Yeah, I need to see.
Stephen A. Smith in a hotel room just laughing at somebody.
Joe, if a major news line breaks tomorrow, I'm texting you right away and being like, I need your instant reaction video.
Well, I'll be at work, and it'll be really
I'll give you my reaction.
it'll be really
at my
unfortunate
desk.
if I can't answer.
John, I would love your instant reaction. I'm sure it'd be a good one.
Oh, it absolutely would be.
If
I
there's
hope
more
something
news on
breaks.
the tariffs, I'll give my reaction.
Okay.
Yes.
I
And,
gotcha.
and how I feel like it'll act on the foreign exchange markets.
All right, this is the plan. This is the plan. So, say something like Giannis trade tomorrow happens, or LeBron James. John, you're the instant reaction. Joe, we're getting your reaction later in the day, so we get a 2-for-1.
Oh, great,
All right.
Steve. Giannis would have to die in a plane crash for me to do that.
Jesus.
All right,
Come
he
on.
gets hit by a bus and injured.
Come on, like one of the best NBA players of all time, Kobe Bryant, died in a plane crash, and you're throwing that out there.
I would give my reaction if that happened. Yes.
Okay, that's where we're ending. All right, that's an episode, boys. We'll see you next week for our NFL previews.